What I see a lot of is that kids really love having the exact same lunch packed every day. So here are three gentle ways of using packed lunches to get them out of that rut. The first is if your child has a particular sandwich that they like every single day, share that sandwich, prepare that sandwich in a different vehicle. So for example, say your child loves, I don't know, ham and cheese sandwich on white bread. Start packing, sometimes ham and cheese on white bread, but sometimes pack ham and cheese in a pita pocket. Sometimes ham and cheese on some crackers. Sometimes ham and cheese in a little tortilla roll up. That way they're still getting their ham and cheese, but they're becoming accustomed to seeing it on these different pieces of bread, these different starches, these different presentations of it. A second way is to add one tiny little serving of challenging food in their lunch. Now, I'm not recommending taking out any other familiar foods, so they still will get the same nutrition from the familiar foods, but they're being presented with one tiny little serving of a challenging food. Again, they're probably not going to eat the challenging foods, so that's why I recommend one tiny little serving. And also, we're not replacing anything else, so we're not wanting to add a whole much bigger lunch suddenly. But, you know, if they have their little lunch box, you've got one tiny little serving of a challenging food, that can fit in there. Leftovers are perfect for this, because the reality is they're not going to likely eat the challenging foods. So you don't want to spend a lot of time going to a lot of effort to make it. Strategy number 3 is I love those wide mouth thermoses. They are such an amazing idea for kids, because what they allow you to do is if there's an entree at dinner that your child likes, that is, I'm assuming, a warm entree, you can warm it up and serve some leftovers for them in that wide mouth thermos the next day for packed lunch. Yes, it's the same food, so at first it's like, what? I thought you were talking about introducing new foods and you're just talking about having them have one of their favorite foods already. Yes, but this is your child starting to understand that those foods don't just happen to be dinner foods and they're not getting their rigid lunch, but other foods can happen at lunchtime and they're still a familiar food. So in summary, what I recommend is to not always serve exactly the same lunch every day. Mix it up, get them accustomed to the idea of different foods arriving, but do it in a gentle way that doesn't risk their nutrition, them meeting their nutrition needs.